few years, Black women have been taking a pounding, and I'm not talking about the pounding that make her feel good. And I reluctantly call it a pounding because it's about time that our ladies started to hear things that that brothers were saying behind your back, that we were saying amongst one another. So while I don't necessarily feel bad about it, I'm going to acknowledge that the last few years, you ladies have been steamrolled by the brigade of brothers that are finally, after 50 11 years, after 50 11 years, the brothers have finally decided to tell you what they have been, how we have been experiencing you. And one of the most vigorous pushback that Black women use or say or talk about is the fact that Black women get blamed for everything, that they get blamed for everything. I'm here to acknowledge that to a degree, what you're saying is true. And I'm not going to really call it blame. I'm really going to call it that, really, and maybe one day we need to have the generational breakdown on our stream. So, because we talk about a lot of stuff and we quite really don't understand or don't remember how things were and how women really were once upon a time. A lot of us have not experienced that. And I've said that time and time again, that we're up here having conversations about things that none of us have actually witnessed or experienced. But the reason why I don't really hold a lot of sympathy is because, the reason why I do have some sympathy, because a lot of you ladies do not understand why you feel the way you feel, because you have not been subjected to the women who've done the work that you now call or describe as taking the blame for everyone. If I could be as heartfelt as I want you to take this in the best light. I understand that you feel like everything is your fault. I understand that over the last couple of years, the things that you are hearing coming out of the mouths of Black men may give you the impression that we are blaming everything for you, everything on you. It's not that we're blaming everything on you. It's just that you ladies have not been indoctrinated into fully what your responsibility actually is. Our women believe that their power lies within securing a bag, doing it by yourself, and proving how very little that you need your male counterparts. And then on top of that, going about the business of trying to discredit your Black male counterparts. I don't think our women really understand how vital and how important they are to the success of what we call the Black culture. Our women do not understand that how crucial of a job it is to be a woman. Life, you give birth to the life. You are the first teachers of said life. The world also views your men through your eyes. And you are the first passers of culture. You ladies have no idea just how valuable you are to the structure of a culture. And that is a lot of responsibility to bear, and our women no longer understands the weight of that responsibility, and then the decisions that come with that, and how that affects us, and how we have gotten to where we've gotten to. The reason why there's a group of guys out here now pounding the pavement about your behavior and the decisions that you're making is because, as I've said a few times, I'm going to probably say over and over and over again, whatever we want to call the Black community or the Black culture or whatever, we are terminal. We are absolutely terminal. We are way past sick. We're terminal as a culture. And it is, so when we come to you about these issues, and I understand that it feels like you're being blamed for everything, you're not being blamed for everything. You're being blamed for the thing that you were never prepared to shoulder, which is what you are actually responsible for. So from that perspective, and you ladies need to understand how vital it is for you to select, when you select who gets reproduced and whose legacy gets to get passed on through the ages. That is the single most responsible, that is the single most responsibility of you. You get to decide which one of us gets to live on. You decide which man becomes a father. You decide what kind of character and genetic makeup gets passed on. You decide that. Men don't decide. We don't decide I want to reproduce myself. All I can do is want to. You get to decide if that happens or not. That is a tremendous amount of power. So when you got TJ from the Real Bravado Network up here talking to you specifically about the kind and caliber of men you are selecting, you are choosing. You are choosing to bring forth the kind of men that you are bitching about, because you are choosing to reproduce with the least of us. And our women are being very cavalier with that responsibility. That is a tremendous amount of power that you have. The quality of men that gets born on this planet is determined by the woman. You may not like that, but that's the responsibility you have. And what our women have done with that responsibility over the last now 60 years is squander it. So we're going to talk about something today. We're going to talk about a couple things, but they're all the same subject. Our ladies are frustrated they seemingly are frustrated at the quality of men that are out here. But taking my premise, you ladies have created the quality of men out here. You have birthed them, you have raised them, and you have chosen who their fathers would be, who is supposed to be their male representation to walk them into manhood. You have selected. Let me tell you what our ladies have done. You have confused. You have confused the culture, because the men that are technically the best of us are not being chosen to be reproduced with. Our women are choosing to reproduce with the worst of us. So in effect, your selection of the reproduction of the men that you choose to reproduce with, you are effectively saying that this man is the best thing out here and he deserves to live on. So if you're saying the worst of us is the best of us, then what the hell are you calling the actual best of us?
Money making is my thing, cause I'm trying to be rich, trying to put away meals.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
Here comes the
All right, shout out to the experience, Tyrone, Mr. AK. Y'all, somebody that can go find his channel link for me and drop it in the chat. Thank you for the $20 super sticker, brother. I'm glad that you're here. I hope you stick around because I will be dropping the link. And guys, I'm going to be dropping the link. Don't be afraid to come up here and talk to me. The shows are better when I got somebody to talk to instead of staring at the camera and you know, kind of talking to myself in this room. Come on up and have a conversation with a brother about this stuff, okay? So shout out, thank you for the support. Thank you for the $20 super sticker. I appreciate you all day and twice on Sundays. So let me ask the chat. Am I making sense? Am I making sense? When our women give life to a male child, when our women give a life to a male child, that male child one day will become a man. That one day that man will want to seek out and be with, on some level, a woman. Because of the responsibility of our women, you are unleashing, by who you decided to reproduce with, you are unleashing that man's seed onto the world and the product of the development. And for 60 years, almost 80% of Black men are raised in single mother homes, and they're being raised and programmed. These are biological men with biological male chemistry being imprinted with female response mechanisms. These men are dangerous and ineffective. They're dangerous because we're mixing emotional imprinting with testosterone. This is why you're seeing this spiking of these violent crimes or assaults with young Black men, because they don't know how to interact with conflict. Now, let me tell you something. As a man, we're gonna bump up against each other, and we're gonna fight. But with actual male interaction and development and mentorship, those often don't turn deadly. There was a time where it wasn't deadly. Correcting a young man in the streets with his behavior could mean the end of my life, because he has emotional imprinting mixing with that powerful hormone of testosterone. Testosterone already can rage you out. And then you have emotional imprinting because you're taking on your mother's persona. With that, it makes you explosive. You're dangerous. And let's not add into the fact that the majority of these boys that were raised in these single mother homes have never been told no. And when they get into the real world and get told no, my God, the explosion that happens.